Hello, sorry for the delay in the post. I meant to make this last week, but I finished up psychiatry and I took our final exam for the end of the rotation. It's an exam given by the NBME, or National Board of Medical Examiners, and it was ridiculous. And so I had this one weekend off where I had absolutely nothing I had to do. And so I hung out with my friends. I was like, whatever, I can do it sometime next week. But then I started internal medicine, or medicine as we all refer to it. And it's so much work. It's so much work. So I haven't had time. I'm just going to wrap up my feelings on psych real quick, and then I'm going to talk about medicine a little bit. And I'm going to try to do another post next week, I think, because this one's going to be a lot of just logistics of how it all works. So I spent my last 2 weeks in psychiatry. I was still on the consult liaison service for the county hospital, and it was just more of the same. It was a lot different than the inpatient hospital because I didn't have that much time to really get to know them. It was county hospital is a much bigger place, and the inpatient ward was only about 50 patients total, so I got to know all of them by the end. And so you just get a lot less contact with them. You care a little bit less, and so I don't know. I was glad I started with inpatient. If I were to go into psychiatry, I would go into some kind of inpatient because I thought it was really fun. I'm not gonna go into psychiatry though. I'm not, and this is why. So psychiatry started out as this field with all the psychoanalysis and Freud and what have you. And they developed medicines for this, so it kind of got absorbed into the whole MD thing, but you don't really use a lot of your medical training as a psychiatrist. You're just basically prescribing medicines where psychologists can't, and it's psychologists who get to go do all the deep interpersonal therapies and what have you, and psychiatrists just walk around and say, how are you feeling today? Do you have any dry mouth? Are you pooping okay? Are you sleeping? Are you having sexual dysfunctions? Because that's a major side effect of major antidepressants. And you basically just check on their side effects, and if the medicine is working, adjust the medication and go. You don't get to talk to them about why they feel how they feel, the actual story behind their behavior. So I mean, it's kind of fun in the sense that the police bring somebody in and you get this outrageous story about this person stealing cell phones from passerbys and dancing in the middle of freeways and what have you. But I mean, at a certain point, it's just more of the same. Crazy behavior is crazy behavior, and you do get desensitized to it at a certain point. And just the combination of not feeling like I would be doing that real good that psychologists do, and not being able to do that real good that doctors do, not going to go into psychiatry. I would want a degree in psychology, and I've been in school for so long now. It's not something I want to do to myself. So I finished up my last 2 weeks in CNL, and then I took the shelf exam. Shelf exam was ridiculous. So I took psychiatry seriously. I did. I liked it, and I've got a pretty strong background in it, believe it or not. I studied pretty hard. Nothing would have prepared me for the test that they gave us. It was ridiculous. It was things that had very little to do with psychiatry, first of all, and things that were a lot more medical, which kind of makes sense because most of us are not going to end up in psychiatry, and diagnosis and treatment is pretty easy when it comes right down to it. So I was hoping for an honors grade in the rotation. So basically the way it works is according to our percentage they give us, there's pass, fail, high pass, or honors. And for psychiatry, honors would have been above a 92%, which is hard. And the way our grades are done is 50% of it is based on evaluations from our resident or attending or one of our higher ups. So that's 50% of the grade. Another 25 is the busy work that they gave us, reflections, clinical encounters, just the junk that comes along with being in rotations. And then the last 25% was the shelf exam. which, like I said, was ridiculously difficult. So, depending how I did there, I don't know. I hope I get honors. I feel like I would deserve honors. I actually put a lot of work into my rotation, but we'll see. And then, yeah, I had this one weekend where I didn't have to do anything, and that was awesome. Oh, I miss weekends. I miss weekends already. I've only done 1 week of medicine so far, and I have another 5 to go, and I am already absolutely exhausted. So this is how it works, is I get to the hospital Monday through Saturday between 5:30 and 6 in the morning, which means I need to be up at 4. So get there at 6. I have an hour to pre-round, so I go and I check all the lab results from my patients and write down any numbers that have changed, any test results that came through over the night, anything that looks like it might be developing into an issue, and I bring it to resident rounds, basically. So from 8 to 9, that's resident rounds. And we walk around the whole team, so I'm the only 3rd year on the team. It's me, 2 4th years, 2 interns, and a resident. The interns and the resident are amazing. Like, they're so cool, and I really, really like my team, which is making things a lot easier. So anyway, the whole team walks around the hospital and takes a look at everybody's patient. Resident talks to us a little bit about things we need to do today for that patient, things we need to check up on, tests we need to order, and we write our morning orders for them, medicines that they should be given, tests that should be run, kind of a thing. After that, we go to morning report. So that's basically just for the med students and the resident. And somebody presents a case that is either a rare condition or an unusual presentation of something that we'll be seeing a lot. And we talk for an hour about the presentation, diagnosis, workup, and treatment. And so that's what we do from 9 to 10. And, oh wait, no, sorry. 6 to 7 is pre-rounds. 7 to 8 is morning rounds. 8 to 9 is morning report. 9 to like 11 is attending round. So we sit down and we talk with our attending about all our various patients. We go see any new ones that came in from last night. Attending gives us their impressions of what's going on with this patient and what they think we need to do. And so we start our workup then. From like 11 to noon, that's when I can get some of my work done. That's usually when I write my notes for my old ones, because you have to write a note on them every day, and it's pretty easy. You just copy and paste the one from the day before and change anything that needs to be changed, and it doesn't take that long. From noon to 1, that's when we have lunch, but there's like lunchtime lectures. So you'll listen to basically a presentation that one of the residents has made about a disease or something like that. And then from like 1 to 4, that's when we should be doing any new intakes and finishing up any work for our old patients that needs to be filed, checking any tests that came in, putting in new orders, all that kind of stuff. And it's supposed to go until 4, but usually we're not done until like 6. And then every 6 days, my team is on call. So what that means is that in addition to our normal work that goes from 6 to 4, so really like 6 to 6, we also have to take in any new patients that arrive after 4. So that means doing a new history and physical H&P and putting in the preliminary orders for any patients that come in after that. So that can go from like not till about 9 usually, 9 in the evening. So call days, I'm there from 6 in the morning until 9 at night. And I do this Monday through Saturday, Sunday being my only day off when I can finally study a little bit, because I feel like I know absolutely nothing. And it's hard. It's exhausting. You know, you get to like Friday, Saturday, that alarm goes off at 4 in the morning. It's dark again. All your neighbors are still sleeping. The morning radio shows aren't even on yet. And I don't know, it feels like your whole life is just in that goddamn hospital. And the other thing is my boyfriend's on surgery rotation right now, which is also pretty intense hours, and so like sometimes I'll see him in the hallway and it's just like, and that's all I get to see him during the day. I don't see him any other times, and so it should be an interesting further 5 weeks. We'll talk about some of the interesting things that I've already seen there, and reasons that you should be really, really nice to your doctors.